Hey everyone, welcome back to iCube Tutorials in the module of percentage 3. In this module, we'll be solving previous year CAT questions on percentage with the fastest techniques and easiest solutions. Okay, so first let's see what's the trend of question of percentage in the previous 3 years. In CAT 2019, there were 3 questions standalone on slot 1, 2 in slot 2. In 2018, there was 1. In 2017, again 3 in slot 1 and 2 in slot 2. So these are the standalone questions, means only percentage with nothing, any other concept. Okay, but if you combine percentage with like simple interest, profit and loss, means if you only know that profit equal to selling price minus cost price, rest everything is percentage. Interest is rate times the principal, rest everything is percentage. If you combine them, then from percentage you get at least 5 to 6 questions in every slot of every cat paper in the past 3 4 years. Okay, so percentage is the most important topic in arithmetic, and it can be the game changer for you. Why? Because of this thing. The average time taken to solve these questions is 1 minute. Few of the questions you will solve in 40 seconds, few of the questions you will solve in 80 seconds. The average time will be 1 minute. So if you get 5 questions based on percentage, you solve them in 5 minutes, and you have 55 minutes for the rest 29 questions. So obviously you will be aiming minimum 25 plus questions in quant, and if you solve 5 questions in 5 minutes, you will definitely be able to gain the confidence and solve the even the other concepts also. So let's see how do you solve them at an average time of 1 minute. Okay, so this question is from cat 2019. In an examination, the score of A was 10% less than that of B. The score of B was 25% more than that of C, and the score of C was 20% less than that of D. If A scored 72, then the score of D was. So what is this? There are a few relations given between A and B, B and C, C and D. You ultimately write them down, then substitute one value to another, and finally you get the answer. Okay, that's fine. But if you do by that way, you will be losing 20 seconds. So what's the other way around? From concept of change of base, if you know concept of change of base, once you read this line, the score of B was 25% more than C, and the score of C was 20% less than that D, you instantly know that B equal to D. Okay, so let's see the solution. See, we have written down A was 10% less than that B, means A is 0.9 B. B was 25% more than C, means B is 1.25 C. C was 20% less than D, means C is 0.8 D. So if you ultimately substitute the value of C here, you will find out that B equal to D. But you write it down, then substitute, then calculate. That will take time. But from this concept of change of base, I have already described these topics in your percentage 1 and 2. If someone is not thorough, you may please visit, the description is there in the link. You may visit the percentage 1 and 2, learn the concepts and come back. So in this you see, if we know that if B is 25% more than C, then automatically C is 20% less than B, because 25 by 100 plus 25 means 25 by 125, 1 by 5 is 20%. So if B is 25% more than C, C is automatically 20% less than B. And again it is given that C is 20% less than D. So C is 20% less than B, C is 20% less than D. So automatically you know that B equal to D. You jump to this point, B equal to D. So if B equal to D, and you know A is 0.9 B because A is 10% less than B, so you directly write A equal to 0.9 D. The value of A is given to be 72, so D equal to 72 by 0.9 is 80. So anyone who knows the concept of change of base and studies, and this goes through this line, score of B was 25% more, and this, he instantly knows B equal to D. He sees A is 10% less than B, so A is 0.9 B means A is 0.9 D. A is given 72, D is A by 72 by 0.9, so directly 80. You do not need a pen and paper even to solve this question. You actually, if you are thorough, you do not need a pen and paper. You read the question within 10 to 20 seconds or 30 seconds or 40 seconds, you solve this question. So this is a problem of cat 2019 and how easily it can be solved. Next, this is again a problem of cat 2019. In a class, 60% of the students are girls and the rest are boys. So 60% are girls means 40% are boys. There are 30 more girls than boys. What is means girls are 13 numbers more than the boys. If 68% of the students, including 30 boys, pass an examination, the percentage of the girls who do not pass is the percentage of girls who do not pass. So let's see the solution. So in these type of problems, you always assume this if it is given that 60% of the girls are and rest are boys, rather than as assuming zero point 0.6, zero point 0.4, you know that 60% is 3 by 5. 1 by 5 is 20%. So 3 by 5 is 60%. From this, you can take the total number of students to be 5x. From this 60% means 3x are girls and 2x are boys. So I hope this is clear. From 5x, 3x are girls 60% and 2x boys 40%. It is given in the question. Now how many girls are more? 3x minus 2x x is equal to 30. Because why? There are 30 more girls than boys. So 3x minus 2x x equals 30. Now you substitute the value of x and you get this second diagram. Means total number of students is 5 into 30 equals 150. Among 150, there are 90 girls and 60 boys. So you have 150 total students, 90 girls, 60 boys. Now, what is the passing percentage? It is given 68% of the students. So 68 percentage of 150. 68 percentage, how do you calculate? It's always easy to break it. 70% minus 2% is 68%. So 70% of 150 means 7 into 15, it's 105. 105 minus 2% of 150. 1% of 150 is 1.5. 2% is 1.5 into 2 is 3. So you subtract 105 minus 3, directly get 102. Means 68% of 150 is 102. From this 102, it is given that 30 boys passed the examination. So from these 68% who have passed, 30 boys pass the examination. So if 30 boys pass the examination, how many girls pass? 102 minus 30, that is 72. So 72 girls passed. So what was the total number of girls? Total number of girls was 90. Among that, them 72 have passed. So how many did not pass? 18. 90 minus 72, 18 didn't pass. So percentage of girls who do not pass is 18 by total number of girls. 18 by 90 means 1 by 5 is 20%. So the percentage of the girls who do not pass is 18 by 90, 20%. So if anyone who knows this, directly draws these two diagrams, calculates 68% of 150, knows this 72 and knows that 18 didn't pass, 18 by 90 is 20%. This is roughly a 1 minute question. It'll take 1 minute to solve. Okay. But remember, in the convert these things. If it is given 60%, 40%, 40%, you give convert 2x out of 5x. Always try to convert them. Okay. Now next question. In 2010, this is also a problem of CAT 2019. In 2010, a library contained a total of 11,500 books in two categories, fiction and non-fiction. In 2015, the library contained a total of 12,760 books in these two categories. So there were 11,500 books in the year 2010. In the year, the number increased from 11,500 to 12,760. So, what were the two kinds of books, fiction and non-fiction? So, during this period, there was 10% increase in the fiction category. So, fiction category increased by 10%, while the non-fiction category increased by 12%. How many fiction books were there in the year 2015? Means in the latter period, that is 2015, how many fiction books were there? So you know that the total books increased from this. Fiction books increased by 10%, non-fiction books increased by 12%. You just need to calculate how many fiction books are there in the library in 2015. Let's see the solution. So let F be the number of fiction books, N be the number of non-fiction books in the year 2010. So then as per question, fiction plus non-fiction is 11,500 given. This is in 2010. In 2015, total number of books is 12,760 given, but F increased, number of fiction books increased by 10%. Anything which increases by 10%, you multiply by 1.1. This is the concept of multiplying factor, you know. Similarly, N increases by 12%. So N increases by 12% means you multiply with 1.12. So what happens? 1.1 F plus 1.12 N is 12,760. Now you need F because the question is how many fiction books were there. You need F, so you need to eliminate N. To eliminate N, you need to multiply 1.12 to the equation 1 and subtract. So when you multiply 1.12 to the, so 1.12 into equation 1 minus 2. Okay, so 1.12n and 1.12n will get cancelled. 1.12f minus 1.1f gives you 0.02f. Now there is a problem is that you how to multiply 1.12 to 11,500, means 112 into 11500 typing in the calculator, it takes a lot of time. So what you basically do, you know that 1.12 means 12% increase. 12% means 11,500 plus 10% plus 2%. 12% is 10 plus 2. What is 10% of 11,500? Simply 1150. What is 2%? 10% by 5 means 1150 by 5. So 11,500 plus 1150 plus 1150 by 5. This in a 3 to 4 second you can calculate 12,880. So you have multiplied 1.12 here and you got the value 12,880 minus the equation to 12,760, this 120. So 0.02f is 120. So f is 120 by 0.02. 120 by 0.02, the value is 6,000. So what most of the students, that is at least 25% of the students, will go and mark this option 3, 6,000. But f is in the year 2000. You need how many fiction books were there in the library in the year 2015? In 2015 it is 1.1f. So 1.1f means 1.1 into 6,000, that is 6,600. This is your answer, option 1. So this also you need to take it clear, be clear that you solve it fast, but you also need to be accurate. Means keep your concentration. Otherwise, instead of getting plus 3, you will be getting minus 1. So it will create a difference of 4 marks. So be very accurate along with your speed. Okay, next question. This is also a problem of CAT 2019. Meena scores 40% in an examination, and after review, even though her score is increased by 50%, she fails by 35 marks. So 40%, she scored 40%. Review is done, some marking has been changed, her score increases by 50%. 50% of whom? 50% of this 40%. Means whatever she obtained earlier, of that 50% is increased post review. I mean post review, no, once a review is done. So even after this, she fails by 35 marks. Now after her post review score, means after by increasing 50%, if this post review score is further increased by 20%, means once it is increased by 50%, again if it is increased by 20%, the final value, she will have 7 marks more than the passing score, the percentage score needed for passing the examination. So you can assume a value, let the percentage be, the passing marks be this, then these, then this. You can write down 3 4 equations, solve them, ultimately get the answer, but this will consume your time. So what you do, let's solve in this way. Before review score it's 40%. After review score you increase it by 50%. If anything you increase by 50% means you multiply with 1.5. So 1.5 into 40% is 60%. So this was her 60% was her score, but even after getting 60%, she fails by 35 marks. So if this is the passing percentage, she is less than that by 35 marks. Okay. If her post review score is increased by 20%, if you increase further this 60% by 20%, you are increasing 60% by 20% means you multiply 1.2 to 60, means you get 72%. So if even when she scores 72%, she is 7 marks more than the passing percentage. This is given. So you can see here that from 60% to 72% there is a gap of 42 marks. So 42 marks gap means 12 percentage. So 35 marks gap means 12 by 42 into 35. This is very simple calculation. 575662, 10%. So gap of 35 means marks means a 10 percentage gap. So what is the passing percentage? 60 percentage plus 35 marks. 60 percentage plus 35 marks means 60 plus 10%, 70%. Okay, so anyone who knows this type of concepts, he will see 35 marks and 7 marks, 42 marks. 42 marks is 12%, 35 marks is 10%. You will add 60% to 10% and mark this option 4. This is again a 40 to 50-second problem. Okay, next question. The income of Amla is 20% more than that of Bimla and 20% less than that of Kamla. A relation is given between Amla and Bimla and Amla and Kamla. If Kamla's income goes down by 4%, something happens to Kamla's income, and Bimla's income goes up by 10%, something happens to Bimla's income. Then percentage by which Kamla's income would exceed Bimla's income means we need the relation between Kamla and Bimla. How much percentage Kamla's income is more than Bimla's? Okay, let's see the solution. So it's given Amla is 20% more than B means A is 1.2B. Again, Amla is 20% less than Kamla means it is 0.8K. Now you need the relation between K and B. So you take the value of A and put here and get that K by B is equal to 1.2 by 0.8 means 3 by 2. So K by B is 3 by 2. But something happened to Kamla's income and Bimla's income. So K new by B new. Something new happened. What? Kamla's income goes down by 4% means you multiply with 0.96. Bimla's income goes up by 10% means you multiply 1.1. So K new by B new will be 0.96 of old Kamla's income by 1.1 of old Bimla's income. So K by B you know 3 by 2. So you substitute 3 by 2 here from this and 0.96 by 1.1. So 0.96 into 3, how do you calculate? 100 into 3 is 300 minus 4 into 3 is 12. So 288 means 2.88. 2.88 by 2.2. 2.88 by 2.2. So this comes out to be 1.31. This you can calculate using the calculator, but if you want to do it faster you can go by this method. 2.88 is 0.68 more than 2.2 means 2.88 minus 2.2 is 0.68. So how much more? 0.68. You know 10% is 0.22, so 30% will be 0.66. So it is just a bit more than 30%. 30% 0.66. 1% is how much? 1% of 2.2 is 0.022. So if you add 31%, so it will be 0.66 plus 0.22 means 0.682. So 2.2, you know 30% is 0.66, 1% is 0.22. So 0.68 will be around 31% more than 2.2. Means 2.88 is around 31% more than 2.2. So Kamla's income, so K new by B new, Kamla's income would exceed Bimla's by 31%. So you need to go this mark option 3. Okay. This is also a very simple problem, just calculations of 20-30 seconds. Okay, next question. Next question. This is a problem from CAT 2018. In an examination, the maximum possible score is n. So what is the maximum possible score? Maximum possible score is n. While the pass marks is 45% of n. Means if the maximum score is suppose 100, pass marks is 45. So if n, then pass marks will be 0.45 n. A candidate obtains 36 marks. Candidate obtains 36 marks but falls short of the pass marks by 68%. Means even though candidate obtains 36 marks, he is short by the pass marks by 68%. Means he is less than the pass marks by 68%. 68% of whom? The pass marks. So which of the following is then correct? Means they are asking us to find the value of n. Means the maximum possible score. Let's see the solution. So maximum possible score of is n. What is the passing marks? Passing marks is 45% of n means 0.45 n. Now it is given that he obtained 36 marks, but it is less 68% less than passing marks. So if this is the passing marks, 68% less than that is 36. So 36 is how much of passing marks? 32%. So 36 is 32% of passing marks. Hence 32% of anything means you multiply 0.32. So 0.32 times the passing marks is 0.45 n is your 36 and n is equal to 250. This is a very simple calculation. 4 into 9, 4 into 8 and again this 9 into 5, this gets cancelled and it comes out to be 250. Now to confuse you, it has given a range has been given. So option 2 is the range. These type of options are also given so that you do not guess the answer from the options. Okay, so you just go and option mark the option 2, that is in which the it will be n equal to 250, 243 to 250. Okay, so next question. So Arun's present age, this is a problem of CAT 2017. Arun's present age is 40% of Barun's. Arun's present age is 40% of Barun's. In another few years, Arun's age will be half of Barun's. By what percentage will Barun's age increase during this period? Okay, so Arun's age has been given 40%. Then in few years, Arun's age will be half of Barun's, means let some other years, y years, it will increase. What percentage Barun's age increase during this period? Okay, let's see the solution. So I have always told that whenever in the Previous problem we saw 60%, we took it to be 3 by 5, so 40% is 2 by 5. So we can take Arun's age as 2x, Barun's age as 5x, then 2 by 5 is 40%, means Arun's age is 40% of Barun's. So if Barun's age is 5x, Arun's age will be 2x. So at present, now in another few years, let this few years be y, that is after few years. What will be after few years? Arun's age will be 2x plus y and Barun's age will be 5x plus y. But it is given that after these years, Arun's age will be half of Barun's. So 2x plus y, that is Arun's age, is half divided by 2, means half of Barun's, that is 5x plus y. From this you see 4x plus 2y equal to 5x plus y, x equal to y. Means y means that after few years, that the few years after what we are talking about in this question, that is y. So y equal to x. So percentage increases in Barun's age. So initially Barun's age was 5x, it increased by y, means x by 5x, x by 5x is 1 by 5 is 20%. So Barun's age increased by 20%. This is also a very simple problem. Just you know that you have to take this value to be 2x and 5x. Once you do this, rest everything is simple. 30-40 seconds problem. Okay. So next, this is again a CAT 2017 problem. CAT 2017. Ravi invests Ravi invests 50% of his monthly savings in fixed deposits. So what does Ravi do? He has some savings. His monthly savings, he invests 50% in fixed deposits. 30% of the rest. 30% of the rest means 30% of the rest 50%, which he is having. Means suppose you are having 100 rupees, you save 50 in fixed deposit, and out of the left 50 you invest 30% in stocks, and the rest goes in Ravi's savings bank account. So fixed deposit, stocks, savings bank account. Three. If the total amount deposited by him in the bank for savings account and fixed deposit, means stock you do not need, is rupees 59,500, then Ravi's total monthly savings is, means if savings account and fixed deposit is 59,500, then what is Ravi's total income, monthly savings? Okay, let's see the solution. See, I've drawn it to make it simple for you. You don't need to think it like that. So monthly savings is M. From this 50% goes to fixed deposit, 50% goes to others. Now from this 50%, 30% goes to stocks, 70% goes to savings bank account. So what is 30% of 50%? 30% of 50% means 15% of this overall amount. 30% of 50% is 15% of this overall amount. This goes in stocks. 70% of 50% means 35% of overall amount. This goes to savings bank account. So if I see total in this, how 50% in fixed deposit, 15% in stocks, and 35% in savings bank account. So you know you have to calculate like this. This means actually this is the concept. Nothing is means 30% of the rest amount. So basically people go directly write this as 30%. No, 30% of 50% means this is actually 15% of the total, and 70% we do 35% of the total. So what is fixed deposit plus savings? Fixed deposit is 50%, savings is 35%. So 50 plus 35, 85% of M. This goes means total bank, this amount is given to be 59,500. So 85% of total monthly savings is 59,500. 0.85 into this equal to this. Okay. So this is a very simple calculation. Again, you can do it using 17 cancelled, and M comes out to be 70,000. So 70,000 is the total monthly savings, out of which 50% fixed deposit, 15% stocks, and 35% goes to savings bank account. Okay. Next question. Next question. This is a question of CAT 2017 again. The number of girls appearing for an admission test is twice the number of boys. If 30% of the girls and 45% of the boys get admission, the percentage of candidates who do not get admission is, okay, so number of girls appearing admission test is twice the number of boys, means it is two times of the boys. Now 30% of the girls and 40 the total number of girls and 45% of the boys get admission, then percentage who do not get admission, what? Let's see the solution. Okay, so see, in this you assume as it is given 30% and 45%, it's better to assume values. Everything is given in percentage, there is no value is given, so you can assume value on your own, because all the things are this is given 30%, this is given 45%, what you have asked that is also in terms of percentage, so you can assume any value because everything is in terms of percentage. So let number of boys be 100, then number of girls is twice the number of boys, twice the number of boys means 200. So total number of students will be 200 plus 100 is 300. So total number of students is 300. It is our assumption. We can assume because there is no value given, no value asked, only percentage. So number of students who got admission. So number of students who got admission is 30% of the girls. Girls are 200 in number. 30% of 200 plus 45% of the boys. 45% of 100. So 30% of 200 is 60. 45% of 100 is 45. 105. So out of 300 students, 105 students got admission. So how many did not get admission? 300 minus 105 means 195 did not get admission. So what is the percentage who did not get admission is 195 by 300. Did not get admission 195. Total number of students is 300. This comes out to be, it's a very simple, means you can see 65 into 3 is this one. Okay, 195. So this comes out to be means 3, you calculate 3 into 65 divided by 100 means 65%. So it's a very simple problem. Once it, I have written so much to make you understand. You just need to think that as there is no value, only percentage, you can assume your value so that it eases out the calculation in this process. 30% of 200 is easy to calculate 60. 45% of 100 is easy to calculate 105. You subtract the number, you get 195. Again 195 by 300, it's 3 into 65. It eases out your calculations. Okay, next question. This is again a question of CAT 2017. So out of the shirts produced in a factory, 15% are defective, while 20% of the rest, this is very important line, this 20% of the rest, where most of the students get trapped. 20% of the rest are sold in the domestic market. If the remaining 8840 shirts are left for export, then the number of shirts produced in the factory is, out of the total shirt, 15% defective, 85% is left. From this 85%, 20% are sold in domestic market and the rest are left for export. So that percentage is given in number. You need to find the number of shirts produced in the factory. Okay. So let's see the solution. Okay, so total number of shirts produced be S. So then how many defective shirts? It's given 15%. 15% are defective. So 85% are non-defective. From this 85%, 20% goes for domestic sales. 20% of 85% means 10% is 8.5. 20% is 17% of total S. So rest 80% goes for export, means rest 80% goes for export. So means you see percentage of S left for export means how much percentage is left for export. 15% is defective, 17% goes for domestic. So 100 minus 15 minus 17, this is equal to 68%. 100 minus 50 minus 100 minus 32 is 68%. So 68% goes for export. You can directly calculate also that 80% of 85, 80% of 85 will also come out to be this value. Rather than calculating that, you can also this 15 and 17, you know. So 100 minus 15 minus 17 is the rest goes for export. So 68% goes for export. So 68% is 0.68 of total goes for export, that is given to be 8840. What is S? This is again 13,000. This is a very simple calculation again. So these diagrams are drawing just for your understanding. Once you are thorough, you will even don't draw this diagram. You see 15% are defective, so you are left with 85%. 20% of the rest are sold in domestic market. 20% of 85% is 17%. So you note 17% and 15% gone. I am left with 68%. 68% is given 8840. You directly jump to this line. You directly jump to this line and solve S equal to 13,000, and you mark option 2. You get, you means 40 to 50 seconds. Done with this problem, move ahead. Okay. Next question. This is also from CAT 2017. In a village, the production of food grains increased by 40%, and the per capita production of food grains increased by 20%, 27%. So food grains increased by 40%, per capita increased by 27%. Per capita means grains produced per population, okay, during a certain period. So the percentage by which the population of the village increased, so production increased, also population was also increased, so production per capita is 27% increase. So the question is, the percentage by which the population of the village increased during the same period is nearest to. So let's see the solution. Per capita production is production by population. Okay. So production by population, production per unit population is per capita production. Now per capita increased by 27% means it becomes 1.27. Production increased by 40% means it became 1.4. So what is the change in x? So x means the population. This is very, you just jump to this line directly. So x equals 1.4 by 1.27, more or less equal to 1.1. You see the options. How do you estimate this is 1.1? Do you go to calculate? No, you see 127. What is 10% of 127? 10% of 127 is 12.7. So if you add 10%, 1.1 means you add 10%. Now you add 127 plus 12.7, you see 139.7. So it is near to 140. So 140 is almost 1.1 times of 127. So directly mark 10%. So the answer is 310. Next question. This is a question from CAT 2004. Let's see what type of questions were asked in those days. So in an examination, there are 100 questions divided into three groups, A, B, C, such that each group contains at least one question. Each group has one question. Each question in group A carries 1 mark. Each question in group B carries 2 marks. And each question in group C carries 3 marks. A, B, C, A1, B2, C3. It is known that the questions in group A together at least carry 60% of total marks. Okay. The number of questions in group A, suppose it's X, then the marks it will carry is also X. Then it is greater than equal to at least 60%, means it's either 60% or more. So greater than equal to 60% of the total marks. Okay. So what's the question? If group B contains 23 questions, group B, that is the one who is carrying 2 marks, contains 23 questions, and how many questions are there in group C? So what is the question? How many questions are in group C? Let's see the solution. Okay, so this is simple. Okay, so don't get by the solution only. Okay, so as per question was, what's the key? A plus B plus C is 100. That is the total number of questions. A plus B plus C is 100 questions are there. Now what is the total marks? A carries 1 marks, B carries 2 marks, C carries 3 marks. So total marks will be A plus 2 plus B, 2B plus 3C. So what is the next thing given in our question is A should be greater than equal to at least 60% of total marks. So A should be greater than equal to 0.6 of total marks is A plus 2B plus 3C. So A must be greater than at least 60% of this A plus 2B plus 3C. Now it is given in our question, what it is given, it is given that b equal to 23. So if b equal to 23, we substitute the value of b in equation 1, and we see if b is 23, then a plus c is 77. A plus c should be 77. Now what was the second equation? A should be greater than equal to 0.6 into a plus b plus b plus c plus 2c, means a plus 2b plus 3c. So what is a plus c? A plus c is 77. What is 2b? B is 23, so 2b is 46 plus 2c into 0.6. So we multiply and we find out this value, that a should be greater than equal to 73.8 plus 1.2c. Now we know that a plus c has to be 77. So we see that C should be either means 1, 2, 3 something 0. 0 it cannot be because it's given that each question carries 1 marks. So C is 1. If C is 1, then A should be greater than equal to 73.8 plus 1.2. 73.8 plus 1.2 is 75. So A should be greater than equal to 75, means A is 75, C1, A plus C 76, not possible, but C1, A 76, A equal to 76, C equal to 1, A plus C is 77. It satisfies all these things. But as soon as you take C2, C as 2 means 73.8 plus 2.4 means it comes out to be 76.2. A greater than equal to 76.2. A greater than 76.2 means minimum number of A questions in A will be 77. So if A is 77, C is 2, A plus C is 79, which is not possible, as A plus C should be 77. This is given na. B is 23, so A plus C should be 77. So if C is 2, it's not possible. C3, the value of A will further increase. So the only option possible, answer possible for C is 1. So C equal to 1 is the only option possible. This is more of like, I means, analytical problem time. Okay, let's see the next question. So this is a 1995 problem. Back in those days when most of you would have been born or won't have taken birth till then. Okay, so 2 by 5 of the voters, 2 by 5 of the voters promised to vote for P and the rest promised to vote for Q. So of these, on the last day, 15% of the voters went back of their promise to vote for P and 25% of voters went back of their promise to vote for Q, and P lost by 2 votes. So back then means they promised, someone promised that I will vote for you, but he didn't vote. Similarly, someone promised to Q that I'll vote for you, but they didn't vote. So like this betrayal happened, and due to this betrayal, some votes exchanged, and then ultimately P lost by 2 votes. So what is the total number of votes, that is they are asking. So you see, one thing is there, it's 15%, it's 25% can be converted easily to fraction, but 15% converting, it's a problem. Okay, so rather than doing everything in terms of fraction, we should prefer to do it in terms of percentage. Okay, so let's see the solution. We see the diagram is heavy, but just to understand, once you understand the diagram is very easy, so don't fall for the diagram. Okay, it's like a tree diagram of biology what we saw. It's not like that. So 2 by 5 is 40%. We convert 2 by 5 to 40%. So let the total votes be X. That is what we need to find, the total number of votes. Out of this total number of votes, 2 by 5 promised to vote for females, for 40% promised to vote for P, 60% promised to vote for Q. So 40% of X promised to vote for Q, 60% promised to vote for Q. Now, out of this 40%, what were promised to P, of these on the last day, 15% went back of their promise. Means 15% betrayed P. 15% betrayed P means 15% of this 40%. So 15% of 40% is 0.15 into 4 is 6%. So 6% of the total number of people betrayed P and went to vote for Q. However, 85% kept their promise. Means out of 40 minus 6 is 34% kept their promise. In, let's see, in Q 25% went back their promise to vote for Q. So 25% betrayed Q. 25% of 60% means 1/4 of 60% means 15% of total actually betrayed Q. So 15% betrayed. So from this 60%, 60 minus 15 is 45%. 45% actually voted for Q. They were loyal to Q, they betrayed Q. These from P, these betrayed P, and these were loyal to P. Now what has been asked, that after all these things, P lost by 2 votes. So P lost. P lost means number of votes of Q was more. So votes for Q minus votes for P. So what was the vote for Q? Loyal to Q was 45%. Betrayed P and went to Q is 6%. So 40 plus 6 is 51%. Similarly, votes for P is 34% plus 15, 49%. So 51 minus 49 is 2% of X. 2% of X is given as 2. So if 2% is 2, means X equal to 100. 2% with 2 by 100 X is 2. So X, there will 100 votes. Out of these 100 votes, 51% finally voted for Q and 49% finally voted for P. So P lost by 2 votes. Okay. So the total number of votes was 100, and the answer will be option A. This is also easy. So let's see the next question. This is a CAT 1994 problem. The number of votes. Oh, again votes. Back then means question setters were more interested in votes, I guess. So the number of votes not cast for the Praja Party increased by 25%. Votes not cast increased by, again betrayal, by 25% in the national general election over those not cast for it in the previous assembly polls. So there were two polls. One is assembly polls, one is national general election. So in national general election, the number of votes not cast increased, means people were angry, and the Praja Party lost. Obviously, if people are angry, party will lose, na? So the people got angry, and the Praja Party lost by a majority twice as large as that by which it had won the assembly polls. Means by how much it won, it lost by twice that. If a total of 2,60,000 vote people voted each time for them, how many voted for the Praja Party in the assembly elections? This is also simple problem. Let's see the solution. Okay, don't fall for these diagrams. These are just to make you understand better. If these many things you won't write in your examination, you just dot 2 3 lines and directly do the calculations. Okay, so let votes not cast in favor of previous assembly polls is X. So this is previous assembly polls, this is now national general election. So in previous assembly polls not cast for Praja Party, let it be X%. So votes in favor of Praja Party was 100 minus X%. So by how much it won? Why win? Because favor is more than against, then only it will win. Na? In the previous assembly polls, it won. So win is 100 minus X means 100 minus 2X% of total votes. In this national general election, what happened? It is given the votes not cast increased by 25%. So not cast was X%. This increased by 25%, means this became 1.25 of earlier, means this became 1.25x. So if this is 1.25x, this should be 100 minus 1.25x, because some of them should be 100 na, favor and against. So this is 100 minus 1.25x. But now it is given that this time it lost. So loss means against vote is more. So 1.25x minus 100 plus 1.25x means against minus favor. So this gives 2.5x minus 100% of total votes. So in previous assembly polls, this is the percentage by which it won, and this national general election, this is the percentage by which it lost. So it is given this lost is twice the percentage by which it won. So lost is 2.5x minus 100. It is twice of the percentage by which it won. 2 into 100 minus 2x. From this, x comes out to be 3000 by 65 percentage. X is 3000 by 65 percentage. Now it has been asked how many voted for the Praja Party in the assembly election. Assembly election, which one? This one is the assembly election. How many voted for Praja Party means voted for favor. So 100 minus X% actually favor for Praja Party. So 100 minus 300 by 65, 65 into 100 is 6500 minus 3000 means 3500 by 65 into what? It is this much percentage of how many people voted? 2,60,000 people. So this much percentage of 2,60,000 people comes out to be 1,40,000 votes. So the answer is option C. Okay, so this is clear. This is very easy, simple calculations. You just do these sums and get x is this much. If x is this much, voted in favor is 100 minus x%. 100 minus x% of what? Of what? This 2,60,000 people is voted for Praja Party in the previous assembly polls. This is in the, that is 1,40,000 votes. So this ends our important questions of on percentage. I hope you liked it and you understood it. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe the channel to get more such videos. Okay, bye bye, take care.